Hey everybody, I'm Robert and I am joined by Nikki. Nikki, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm good. You and I get the question a lot. Can my dog benefit from omega-3s? So important. Let's talk about why it is so critical.
So for us in this day and age, we have a lot of factory farming. We also have a lot of packaged foods. So the nutrients don't always make it into our bodies. So we need to take other things to supplement it back.
Well, especially when you think about it, right? This started off as human grade, all natural. Not quite the same, right?
Right.
So very important as it goes through the process, we're losing many different things, and omega-3s is one of those.
Right.
But the other thing we have with packaged products is oxidation. Let's talk about that.
That's right. So there's a lot of fats happening in that bag of kibble or in any of our other foods that we eat. And the second you open that bag, the fats start to reach the oxygen and they start to go rancid, which completely counteracts why you would want to eat these fats in the first place.
Yeah, it breaks it down over time. So, you know, we all think of buying these big, huge bags as, oh, what a great deal, what a great value. The reality is maybe we need to be, you know, shrinking down what we're buying, rotating it out more, giving it less time to oxidate, because the more time it has, it's going to break down, and those important nutrients that we need, we're not getting out of it.
Right. I think I've heard from some experts saying around 5 to 7 days is when, if you have your bag open for that long, that you should probably replace it.
Yeah, and another thing too is dumping it into storage bins. Folks do that a lot. And unfortunately, that's probably not what you want to do. If you can, take the bag, put the bag into the storage bin if you need to cover it that way. I know Bella likes to get into everything, so that's what I do. I have a storage bin. I don't dump it out and then mix all that.
Right, and you know, the bags are actually made to keep everything kind of intact. So it's good to keep it in the bag, roll it up super tight, stick it in your big container at that point, and if you have room, you can even throw it in the refrigerator.
Yeah, no, great tips there. Now, let's talk about why it's so important though. Why do we need these omega-3s? Why do our dogs need this for their body system?
So I can always tell when my dog Nama needs more omega-3s, her body tells me, and she gets really terrible flaky skin. And so I will give her more omega-3s, and within a day or two, her skin and her fur is back to normal. It's quite amazing, actually. So your skin and your fur, or the dog's fur anyway.
Trust me, folks, I don't have fur.
Yeah. Okay. But your dog's fur, it's super beneficial for it. Also, your immune system. So if your dog is having inflammatory reactions, a lot of the times if you can bring the omega-3s back into their diet, they can start to balance out again. So sometimes an immune system working too hard would be allergies, right? You're constantly trying to fight something. So these are really great reasons for adding omega-3s back in, because no matter what end of the spectrum your immune system is on, too slow or too hyper, it starts to bring it back towards the middle.
Yeah, really critical there. And I love that you're talking about know and observe your dog. You are your dog's advocate. You're their, caretaker. The more you're observant, and whether it's keeping notes in a journal or just knowing what's normal, tail to snout check every day. These are the type of things you pick up, and then you can start to address it before it becomes too serious. So I love that.
Right.
Let's talk about a couple of, the good news is we have some natural ways and some very simple and easy.
Easy and cheap.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
Awesome.
We've got a list of stuff right here.
We've got a whole bunch of stuff right here that will add omega-3s back into your dog's body, and I guarantee you at least 3 of these items here your dog will scarf down.
And you probably already have them because you're using them as well. So that's what I love.
I love when you can share things with your dog. That is like my favorite thing on the planet. If I can go shopping once and I can buy everything at the grocery store and add food to my dog's bowl and then feed me, it's like amazing. I love saving time like that.
And they love it too. All right, let's start with the eggs.
Eggs are awesome. I love giving eggs, especially the egg yolk has a lot of omega-3s in it. So you really could just crack 1 egg over your dog's food, no matter what food they're eating, raw food, kibble, freeze-dried. An egg is a really nice addition to that. You can, I do an egg, I don't know, once a week maybe.
Yeah.
It just depends on your dog.
Yeah, I'll do it once or twice again, as you said. Be observant. See
You
how
have a
your dog's
puppy,
doing.
so you
Yeah.
have to feed your dog double of what
Exactly.
you would feed her when she's an adult, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
my dogs are big and they don't really move a lot, so
So
they get one egg.
let's talk about these because we're brave, but you know, sometimes
We're
these
not
are
that brave.
these stinky omega-3s, right?
But my favorite.
And so are they for our pups. They
Yes.
get that whiff of the smell and
Oh, they hear
my
this.
God.
They hear this particular can cracking open. They love the sardines.
Yeah,
And
so let's talk about it.
They come running. They just hear, and they are
Yeah.
right at
So
my
we've got
feet.
sardines, we've got mackerel.
This is mackerel. This is I shop at a certain store. That's why everything here is branded that way. That's all. But this can is a can of wild caught in water. That's like the best of the best way you can give sardines. Water, wild
Right.
caught, right? This one, since I shop at a certain store, they only carry mackerel in olive oil. And I don't love adding fats, or I don't know where they come from. That's just me. So what I do is I rinse it off. I buy this mackerel in a can, I rinse it off. The dogs get either can whenever I'm feeding these.
Yeah, no, great point. And you'll see that a lot with a lot of different oils these days too, because that's one of the trends on the human side.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it be sunflower oil, MCT oil, this oil, that
it's
oil.
some sunflower.
You know, it just, great point there, and a simple tip, just wash it off.
Just wash it off, rinse it off. Your dog doesn't care.
So we've got some seeds here. And
Seeds.
seeds can be great to get the omega-3s into the system, but also it's an easy mix in that they
It's
they don't
so
see.
simple. And it's also something fun you can do for yourself too. I like to eat chia seeds all the time, but in order to get all the nutrients out of chia seeds, you either need to grind them or soak them first. You can still get nutrients out of plain chia seeds,
Right.
that's fine. But you can add a little bit of kefir, water, bone broth for your dogs.
broth's a great
That
one.
works
Yeah.
perfect. And then it turns into a pudding, and you can just scoop it out every day and give them a scoop of it, or eat it
great
yourself.
tip for all you folks who have a puppy like I do, I use that for when I'm trying to train her to walk. I've just got a little,
really?
yeah, just a little baggie that I've got. I cut off just a little tip, and if she's walking with me right, it's kind of, you know, here you go, a little lick, and then we're on to the next, you know, if she goes another 5-10 steps. But that's the beauty of this, right?
That's
There's
awesome.
so many easy ways to use it. Let's talk about hemp seed.
Hemp seeds, another great way. I think flax seeds too, we don't have here, is another.
Right.
All these things you can soak or grind right before, but you have to keep in mind the oxygenation thing that we were talking about before. You don't really want to have these sitting out, or you don't want to grind them too far ahead of time unless you're putting them in the fridge. The same thing happens. The fats hit the oxygen, and then the oxygen goes, no, you're not here anymore, and it goes away. So, or it turns rancid. So you want to just make sure you prepare.
And let's talk about
before.
supplements, because that's one of the ways that a lot of folks, okay, I'm going to get my supplements this way. I'm going to supplement
totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm a huge supplement guy, obviously. But I want to make sure that people know that, yeah, there are things there too, how you store them, heat, cold, etc.
Exactly.
The manufacturers tell you the best way to keep it from oxidating, from going rancid, etc. So that's not there just for the sake of filling up a label. They've done tests. They understand. Follow those guidelines, because supplements can be another great way for you to achieve getting those omega-3s into the system.
That's right. And I particularly like things like this where they are already encapsulated. Keeps the oxygen out. Oxygen is our friend, but in this case, it is not. So we want to make sure we are always just locking up everything to keep the oxygen from touching the fats. That's kind of why some people, when they Google and they're saying, can my dog have fish oil? And they see a lot of the answers say no. But it's one of those things where it's no, but, or yes, if.
Right.
So yes, they can have fish oil. Fish oil is great if you can find a way to keep it from being oxidized.
Well, I hope that answers the questions. Keep the questions coming to us. We're getting a lot of great ones.
We have
We
our phones
really
are full.
appreciate it. They can send you questions,
Through Life with Laker on Instagram.
and you can send them to me at Pet World Insider on all the different social media channels. Keep them coming. We love it. We're having a lot of fun.
This is great.
We hope you are too. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
These are mine, by the way.
You can have them now because I touched them all.
Because you oxygenated and germinated them.
Oh, germinated.